अभी तो सिर्फ there are just two people. So what do? I wait. So there are just two people और वो भी I think it is वो possible just host and live. उधर हो जाएगा. नहीं मैं नहीं आ रही मुझे लिंक दिख रही है. There are just two people now. What should I do? Just one. Host and okay, evening everyone. See today's class in wherein we are talking about root word building, which is a vocab building exercise. See, all of us by now know that vocab is important, equally important when it comes to reading comprehension. But today's class is more centric towards only going to teach you roots that are going to be relevant for your not only for your RC Okay. Evening, everyone. We're starting with the vocab session with the root words we're going to build on with the vocab. See, today's class is centric around vocabulary, but it's not going to only teach you words. I'm covering only words that are going to be helpful because all of us can understand where vocabulary can be seen in our Clat paper as well as A-Lit paper. We're not preparing vocab or the words only for solving questions of antonym and synonyms, but all of you really by now know when it comes to Clat, our questions of tone are prominently asked in our papers. So tone uh, is a question which can be solved by understanding the paragraph, but the major difficulty lies when we are answering questions of tone that the option choices that are lying in the tone questions also have the presence of difficult words. So these questions are usually not discerned properly by the student because two things happen. First of all, a little gap in the understanding of the author's writing style or his attitude towards the topic is not clear. So I'm going to direct this vocabulary class towards two things. One is we cover words that are frequently asked as tone words. Secondly, also it gives you an opportunity to learn new words. So probably this class we are going to cover almost all words that are going to be centric around the tone words, the tone words. Now, first of all, what's a tone word itself? Tone is the attitude of the author towards, it is the attitude he depicts towards something, or it can also be his feelings towards a topic, or it is a reflection of what is his feelings, his attitude, his mood that is reflected when he's saying his opinion, or probably he's not even saying his new opinion and he's staying neutral. There are certain words in tones that are very frequently seen. Either they are the answers or they are lying in the option choices. So words that are pointing towards the attitude of the author, feeling. So I'm going to do almost like series of 2-3 sessions on tones so that our preparation on tone is not lagging behind because all of us are expecting at least 2 questions to 3 questions on tone. Plus, if we understand these tones well, our questions of inference will also find a reinforcement because you can infer a proper answer if you have understood the author's tone. So there can be certain traps where the author might deviate with the author's tone does not match with the answer, though the answer might be right, but the tone that is given in front of the answer is not probably justifying the tone that the author says in the paragraph. So the first word that I'm going to cover is this. First root word that I'm covering is this. Now you'll say, what is this? See, this is the base word from where words are going to be formed. So the first word is rid or ris. I'm writing so if you want to take a note of these words also, it'll be good. This is my root word. From here, I'm going to build up. Now, rid and ris is the root. Etymologically, words might have Greek origin or word might have origins from the Latin words. So English, as a matter of fact, words originated either from Greek words, Latin words. So the origin of the word, the etymology of that word, now the meaning. This is the root from where we are going to form words. This means to laugh. This word means to laugh. Now, when I say to laugh, so you can easily see the words that I'm going to, this is the word root and this is the meaning. Don't we have a word? We're going to form a word like ridicule from here. So now keeping the word, base word same, all of them are going to have some form of laughing. See, laugh, I can laugh now. Can we look at it? Laugh can be funny. It can be a joke or jovial. But when you laugh at somebody, then you ridicule somebody. To laugh at somebody is to ridicule. Now, another word for ridicule that we can do is basically we can also have ridicule as mockery. We mock somebody. So the tone can be mockery where the person is laughing at somebody or making fun of a situation. So it can be this, or another word with ris we can form is risible. The author's tone is risible. That means he is again ridiculing something. Or another word for this can be an easy word, can be a taunt. The taunt word all of you can identify. But here, now let me add a prefix to this. So a ridicule, risible, mockery, or a taunt can be a to make fun of something. But another word for this, a negative word which we can form here is deride. Look at it. I just added a prefix which is having a negative connotation, de. See, I can have, to explain you the prefix de, we can just have a look at when I say a de, it is clearly saying that this is a negative prefix. Degrowth, destabilize, degenerate, denigrate. Look at all words that are starting with the prefix de, which is down, below, under. So deride. Now here, rid was to laugh, but when you laugh at somebody, maybe to insult somebody, deride, or another word, derisive, derision, another word. Takes a negative word here. So another difficult word we can cover is, now you see here, all of us look at one thing, that we know the word mockery. And we might even in the passage understand that the author is doing some bit of, he's laughing or making fun of a situation, of a person, ridiculing somebody. But what happens is, what stops us from marking the answer is that probably we do not know the good meaning of contumely, which is exactly the same word. Or another one, I'm writing all words. See, my 2 to 3 sessions, I'll direct towards teaching you roots and uh, tones through roots. And my last session, what I'll do is I'll practically bring you lines where you will identify tones, the tones or words that I've done with you. So scorning, derision, derisive, deride, ridicule, risible. We can just form ridicule, risible, deride, derision, derisive. Formats, contumely, scorn at something, which is scorning. So here it can also be now. His speech, her speech or his speech was met with howls and hoots and howls of derision. They were laughing her speech. If somebody is making some kind of a speech where people start hooting and howling at that speech, then it probably they are making a fun of that person, which is mockery. And now, mockery you've all seen in your talent shows. If you've seen the laughter channels, they all mock, ridicule, risible, or they pass some kind of scorning comment. But also we can have here, a lot of times it can be this thing also. See, if you've made a note of it, it'll be nice, because then I'll not be able to bring these words and show you again. If you want, I'm giving you you can just take a click from the board, or you want to note it down, you can do it as per your convenience. Okay. So, but it can also be a humor, which is where a person makes, now I like to give you a common example. A lot of roost comedy do a derisive mockery, which is insulting to, it has an element of negative humor. It has an element of negative humor. And also there can be humor where a person makes fun of his own self. If you've seen, a lot of times I like to particularly cite this case of Bassi. If you've seen his shows, stand-up comedian Bassi, then he is making fun of his own self. Then that is, what kind of humor is that? If the author in the paragraph is making a humor about his own self, then it is self-deprecating. Then he self-deprecates. He makes fun of his own self. You make fun of somebody, you mock, you ridicule. When you make it negative, too negative, derisive, deride. Okay. So by this is self-deprecates, which is, underestimate yourself. You make fun of your own self. That's self-deprecating. But now bitter humor. Let's go to a bit of bitter humor. So here's the second word, which is sarcasm. Now, as far as sarcasm is concerned, I like to give you the Greek origin of this word. And you will immediately always remember the word sarcastic or sarcasm. See, the word had the Greek origin, word root was this. This is the Greek one, sarcasm. Now, what does this word mean? Sarcasm was to tear the flesh like a dog. To tear the flesh like a dog. You're ripping apart. So this word meant to tear the flesh apart. A roast comedy. See, when I say he's handsome, if you love rodents, look at this. Look at this line. He's handsome. First you're praising, but then what do you say? He's handsome if you love rodents. So now look at it how you're ripping him apart by saying that if you love rodents, that's more like the rat family, then he's also handsome. So look at the sarcastic remark you making. This is humorous. This is humorous. See, now I'll like to give you another funny one here. We all know zombies eat brains. Zombies eat brain, but you're safe. What did, look at it how I'm tearing the flesh apart by calling somebody a dumb. That's sarcastic. Sarcasm, the Greek origin, which means to tear the flesh apart. So now examples here, the author tears the flesh apart by using bitter humor. Not only humorous, but it is bitter in nature. That is there. I'm giving you some more words for bitter humor and sarcasm, which can be sneering, making fun. Sneering is also equivalent to ridicule. It can also be jibe, take a jibe at somebody. Usually people will take a jibe. Look at politicians taking a jibe at Rahul Gandhi. So that's a jibe at somebody. It could be sneer. It can also be scoff or mockery for sure. A scorn, scoff, jibe are all parallel words to sarcasm. Then there is another kind of humor. See, this is bitter. But have you seen in Friends, when you pull leg of your friends, when we pull the leg, we are not there to ridicule them or do a mockery on them. See, sometimes you might pass a taunt on somebody you don't like. Sometimes you mock a situation, but another time you might be using very bitter humor, to ridicule somebody, to belittle him. That is ridiculing and belittling. But also we can do one more thing. We can make fun of our own selves. And have you seen, there are a lot of laughter stand-up comedians who will make fun of their clan, who might make fun of their fat thing, or who might make fun of their dumbness. So those are self-deprecating remarks. But it has the element of humor. It evokes humor. So the author makes fun of a situation, ridicule, mockery, taunt, and jibe. But also he makes fun of his own self-deprecating, but he uses bitter humor than sarcastic. And now this is more like teasing. It also has an element of humor. It also has this element of humor, but then this is more equivalent to teasing somebody. So this is good-natured teasing. So this is, today I'm covering some words. So here, good-natured teasing. Now this you might do with friends, what we call as pulling a leg. You don't have no intentions to ridicule. So here, this good nature, see, we're doing here happy, jovial, these are positive humors. Evoke humorous, but now humor becomes bitter. It's sarcasm. It is jibe. It is ridicule. It's mockery. It can be taunting. But good nature teasing, first word that you can easily do this action and remember this also, which is tongue in cheek. Let me do this action and show it to you. And you realize, when you do that, it is tongue in cheek, is basically like you are teasing somebody. Like you say, So similarly, a tongue in cheek, it can also be teasing, which we all know, but then the word can be banter. It's a banter. A banter was usually visual, can be seen when, in Parliament House, people of a party might pull. Usually in Lalu Prasad's days, whenever he would stand up to give his railway budget, people will start teasing. So that's a banter. So a banter, we can do this also. A lot of times this also happens when a reporter puts a report, you give back. It's a snap-like thing. Like somebody puts you a question and you answer back or give back in the same teasing sense. That's a repartee. So repartee, it can be another word for this, can be a badinage. So you are remembering, please. My request to all of you is, I am constantly repeating these words. Reason being, so that all of us are clear that, we are basically learning, trying to learn the words here. So repartee is to, like, I give you a humorous remark where I pull your leg and you give me a reply in the same coin, in the same tone. That is repartee. It's a banter, verbal teasing. A badinage is the same thing. And another word we can do for this is persiflage. Persiflage is the word. So here, today we are covering some words of mockery. So we'll cover all kinds of words. So this was for teasing good-natured humor and the negative humor, and then mockery of a situation. And then we did humor. See, today we've covered words of ridicule, and there is another one that I really want to teach you through the word sarcasm or derision, which is also with ridicule, can be raillery. Raillery. Now, the only thing is they are all the same kind, but because synonyms are not, the student is not aware of the synonyms, that is why somewhere or the other we falter with marking an answer. So now see, if you know a repart or a banter, you can easily remember another word. Tease, we all know. But now persiflage or a badinage or a banter, these could be another with teasing. So your author might pull a leg. There might be an article on friends having fun, and they are probably making fun of each other by pulling each other's legs. Well, now I like to give quote you here also. See, have you seen in the series Friends only? They pull each other's leg very properly, so that is a repartee. And they give answers in the same, which can, another word for this can be jesting. Okay, so we've done about a 15-20 words here on various kinds of mockeries and ridicules and self-deprecating humors. Okay, I'm moving further. Now, the next one that we can cover, apart from now here, we're talking about certain negative tones. I'm teaching you the second word root, which is, so here, rude and ris was to laugh, and then we did sarcasm, which was to tear the flesh apart. Tear the flesh apart. My third word root is AC, ACRI, and ACER. Acer, Acer, Acri, AC, which means sour. There is no humor this time, only a bitter remark. No humor, but you're just saying a sour, a bitter comment. A very sharp, sour comment. Sharp, bitter. So here, words we can find out here is, can be, first of all, the remark can, the opposition party gave an acrid remark to the ruling party. Acrid, sharp and bitter. Another way to remember this can be acidic. See, can you see the nature of acidic? It can be sour, it can be sharp. For sharp, we can also take the word acerbic. Acerbic. The tone of the paragraph where he basically says a lot of sharp comments. Where he tries, belittling somebody with very bitter remarks. So that's acerbic. Acidic is the tone. Another word for this acerbic and acidic can also be, look at the word here. That will help you understand. It is basically having an intention to hurt somebody, hurtful. Hurtful. Because it's so sharp. It's like, now another word for this, it is a biting comment. It's a biting remark. It's a biting one. It can be caustic. Now look at it, acidic, another word, caustic, a bitter remark, a biting comment, and another word for biting can be sharp as a dagger, which can be trenchant. No humor in this, only bitterness, only bitterness. So acerbic, hurtful, caustic, and biting remarks are accurate. From here, another, because this can be another word we can do, which can be acrimony. Acrimony means where there's bitterness in relations. Bitterness, acrimony, there was acrimony between the two Ambani brothers, an acrimonious relationship. Now they were not on the same page. They both were having a bitter relationship, an acrimony between India and Pakistan. So usually we would pass comments to them, which can be very sharp, biting comments, criticizing them sharply, trenchant. They might criticize us sharply, that's trenchant remark. It's a caustic one, another word that we can do, just going a little up notch, which is contumely. So we can just, I can just for, I'm so sorry, not a contumely here. I'll not like to place a contumely here. We can just place a word vitriolic. Don't place a word contumely here. Vitriolic, which is biting, trenchant. So now see here. Somebody passes the words, the modifiers or the verbs he will use. It's a total, he says it's a shameful deed. Now look at it. This is not very, when we say, we just criticize and we just say this is not good. But we say it's very bad. Then we're harshly criticizing. Suppose let's say I'm doing a book review and I say, this is not worth the read. I'm saying it's not good. But this is like if I say it's a severe headache, it's lines borrowed, it's a thief's book where he has borrowed lines from here and there and juxtaposed them to make them as his own line. This can be very biting. I'm calling that person, the writer of that book, as probably a plagiarist. So a vitriolic remark, a acerbic remark, where we are saying these are lower organisms, they do not have brain, this community is not even developed. Their minds are as primitive as the minds of the apes. I am being hurtful. I am hurtful. I am passing sharp, bitter, criticizing remarks which are causing some kind of hurt or pain. These are acrid, acerbic, acrimony, acidic, trenchant, caustic, or vitriolic remarks. Clear? Chalo, let's go further. This was with acidity. Bitter criticism or malice could be the word. Now, another word that we all can prepare is this. So can we just do a quick recap? Ridrous laugh. So ridicule, deride, and derision. I'm doing this, then sarcasm was my next word. Then banter, the teasing was my third word, which is pull the leg, tongue in cheek. I hope all those who are present are practically going through this through the word list properly. Any problems and not getting any kind of messages from you guys? So I hope all of you are there and listening properly. See, in a class, it's much more easier to relate to all of you because I can't see even a single comment here, except for a hello. Okay. So just say that you at least there. Few of you need to talk to me, send me a message so that I know where we are and what we. And another thing, probably, this could be a good thing for me where you tell me what words you're finding difficulty with so that my next session, I only do those words where you guys are facing some kind of problems. So say something. Acha chalo. People are not ready to respond, I think. So this is banter. The next one was the fourth one we did is look at it how we are covering. So sarcasm, rip the flesh apart, tear the flesh apart, tease somebody, pull the leg, make fun, say something bitter, acrid, acrimony, acerbic, say something which is hurtful. Okay, so that makes the then next one. Next one, what we can do is this word where we are doing. First, I want to teach you this word, which is with sadness now. With sadness. See, probably I'm covering some words which are negative words today because negative tones very often. See, dole. This is my fourth word, root number, maybe something, dolor. This is related with my fifth word, that is sad, grieving. The author is sad, is sorrowful. Meaning of this word root is sad, dolor. Okay, so that's why, see, can we look at another word? Maybe that might not be the tone, condole. See, I'm adding just another word, con, which as per the Latin means together. So can you see, when we do condolences, then it is shared grief, or we are all sad together. Condolences. We are in your grief. We are standing together in the sadness. Condole. Now here, one tone can be author is doleful, is sad, is really sad, is mournful, is mourning something that is there. So also he can be somber. He can be in a somber, serious, so sad mood. Somber. Somber, there has been a lot of times where the word somber has been asked. So the word somber means, I don't know why I'm not getting any. The word somber can be there. And also another word for this all of us know, melancholy. So doleful, mournful, dolorous, also the same. But now I'm going to give you a word and you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Dirge. See, dirge is usually a sad poem or a song which is sung at the burial ground. It's basically a sad poem or song which people or family members or friends might sing for the loss of their loved ones. So it can be a dirgeful, a dirgeful. That means again it's a sad poem. The poems can be dirges. It is basically a complaint to God that why you've taken my loved one. So we can have condole, doleful, mournful, somber, melancholy. Grief, you all know. Aggrieved, we know. Grieving or aggrieved. But gloomy, these are all words for sadness that I'm covering today. And dismal. Now, a bad performance or a dismal performance by the Sun Pharma shares on the stock market. A dirge was sung by the lamenting son for his mother's funeral. The ladies were mournful on seeing the dead body of the soldier. It was a melancholy, or it was a huge melancholy for the whole village when they found that one of their village leaders died because of a trivial accident. So a gloomy day, a gloomy, somber, mournful, doleful, sad, grieving. But if it's a loss, loss of death, it is some kind of misfortune that has happened, then it can be tragic or tragedy. Tragic. So it can be some kind of misfortune, some kind of suffering, some death, loss of a loved one. This can be. But if somebody is tearful, then this one. This is tearful, comes from lacrimal gland, which is a tear gland, which is lacrimose. Tearful is the word for this. See, if you find the author saying that he's shedding tears, rona nikal raha hai, aansu nikal rahe hain, then he is lacrimose. He's sad. The words are, he's talking about, he's feeling sad. He's kind of feeling grieving on something. The situation is very dark and gloomy. So then it is doleful. But if he's sharing his sorrow, he's aggrieved or condolences. So we've done words with sadness. We are doing just 6-7 word roots every class. And under each word root, my intention is to give you 4-4-5-5 words so that we are properly aligned towards preparing each class. If we cover 40-50 words, I think we are all bang on. With few sessions, we would have done 100 to 150 words, and that will take care of. And my intention will be to cover all which we do in each session. And your duty would be to watch the session And if not from your own end, you can remember by listening to the YouTube video again and again, these words, you will be able to remember them and keep them in your mind. I'll cover each and every tone word to the fullest. Okay. So here, dole and dolor are covered, which is with sadness and gloominess and sad, tragic, and death-like situation. Okay. So the next one now. The next one that we're doing is practically going to be now on supercilious. Now look at the word I am going to cover here, super. Super, as a word root, all of us need that's over. And then I'm covering the word supercilious. Now you'll ask me what is the author is super. Might not be a tone, but this is again, this very easy to remember. Very, very easy to remember. See, this is borrowed from the Latin word. You'll say, what is it? The Latin word had the super, but it is supercilium. No, you'll say, what is this? Supercilium in Latin word means eyebrow. आपने देखा when people are, no, this is ऊपर, eyebrow. So इसमें इसका meaning क्या? Eyebrow है. People will ask. See, it's an action people do with eyebrow. What do they do? Have you seen a lot of people when they are full of pride, then they raise their eyebrow? Haughty behavior, superciliousness. It comes from the word when people twitch their eyebrow. Have you seen that instead of having our eyebrows are like this? No, but when I don't do like this, and what do? I do my eyebrows with keeping one of them down and one of them like this. I raise my eyebrow like this. And you know, so you've seen that wicked kind of where you show that I am everything. Wherein you want to show that, you know, I am super, I am over and above everybody. So what kind of behavior is this person showing? It is basically showing that I am too arrogant, or I am haughty. This is a haughty behavior, what we demonstrate with an eyebrow. Is it clear? That's why the word eyebrow. It is related to the word eyebrow in that sense. Supercilium is the eyebrow. So haughty can be proud, arrogant. Arrogant is easy word that all of us know. Another word that we can keep in mind with this is, I'll help you remember this word also, which is condescending. You will say, what is this? See, this is just a mnemonic technique to remember. This person, because he is having a high eyebrow, he will say, I can't descend. Can't descend. Condescend. Can't descend. So just a way to remember, see, there's nothing on the root word here. Can't descend means, yo, I am superior than having a, you know, superiority. And he thinks, iska ek aur word hai, he thinks he's a know-all. He's a know-all. And now, with all due respect to your parents, have you seen a lot of times parents will think as if you're still a baby? They'll give you some small instructions as if you don't know. So go and drink water there, do this. They'll give you such minute instructions thinking that they know everything and probably you don't know those things. So that's a condescending behavior. But you know, there they don't want to show superiority complex. That's a caring attitude. So condescending, where I can't descend, where my eyebrow is high. My supercilium is too arrogant, or I am haughty. Another one, this can be the tone of the author. He feels he knows everything and rest everybody is just not to which is patronizing. He acts like a superior person, patronizing. Disdain. He says, others don't need I show superiority, that something does not deserve even my respect. Disdain. I am the boss. I know everything. I can't descend, and my eyebrow is high. Haughty. So disdain, patronizing, supercilium. Then another word can be overbearing. Overbearing. That means he is acting as if over on everything. And last of the word can be conceited. I know everything. You don't know anything. Supercilious behavior can be a disturbing choice, but very rarely the author might also act in a very superior sense. He might think he is the know-all. Condescend, supercilious, patronizing, conceited, and arrogant. Ma'am, how to differentiate between lachrymose and mournful? Lachrymose is very nice, Ojas. Lachrymose is tearful. He is in tears. And mourning is probably, I might be in a sad mood. So my tears might not be there. But author literally says his eyes are wet and moist, then he is lachrymose. Have you seen a lot of Ekta Kapoor serials are lachrymose, where they are just shedding tears? Tear jerker. It brings tears to the eyes. Okay, so supercilious is the word. Then last word for the day. Last word for the day is going to be this. So we've done acidic. I again make a list. Redress, laugh. Sarcasm, you know, not that sarcasm, our base word. Chasm. Then acre, AC, acre, you know, acidic, acidic, biting. Then we did self-deprecation, sarcasm, self-deprecation. Then dole, dolor, dolo, dolor, you know now, sadness. And then now we just did super. See, there's a way to remember, supercoelum. Is it clear? I hope I'm helping you revise equally. And one more word we did here was with ridicule we did and sarcasm we did. Next one we can do is good nature, teasing we did, tease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the seventh one. 7 tones properly covered, properly we've done. Okay, so last of the list, last today. And because I've taken this 2, 3 positive and 2, 3 negative. Okay. So the last one we're doing, and you'll be surprised how the word originated, rude. Meaning is rough. Or it can also be very rough or crude. Rudimentary word comes from there only. Rudimentary, from the base level, very crude, not polished, but. Now you will say, what is this here? It comes from the word rudis, rudis, which is rough and crude. Okay, and word is here, author's tone. He can be very rude in his tone. Rude is formed here, very rough, very crude. So we're doing another word, rude, rudimentary. Now here, words that have been asked for rude, he's very uncivilized. It might not say what is his tone. He feels people are boorish, uncultured, uncivilized, rough and crude, uncouth, uncultured, uncivilized. All these are what? Raw. And it can be for rude. Another word can be that the author is very insolent. Insolent, rustic, an ideal. It could be a rustic environment and the author is acting very uncivilized. So he can be uncultured or he can even be boorish, unrefined. He's very raw in his behavior. In his comments, he's very uncultured. He might be talking about some English company men and how the villagers behave with them. So he might ask, it can be that author's tone toward in the reply was boorish. And the attitude of the English British men were very supercilious. But it can be insolent, or ab ye dekho, the surface could be very gruff. Remarks can also be very rough and gruff. It is a very gruff remark. And another word for this can be surly. It is a very surly, gruff remark. Gruff, coarse. It's a coarse. Surfaces can be coarse. Remarks can be gruff. Food material can be gruff. Behaviors can be uncouth, uncivilized, and uncultured. It can be absolutely very boorish. Uncouth and boorish, not civilized. Very rough, rude, and crude behavior. Clear? So author, a lot of times these, again, let me just say here, probably a lot of times the author might not even be having any kind of this tone, but these can be words that might lie in option choices and can be a disturbing choice. Can be a disturbing choice. Arjun, good evening. Let me go to the last and the final word, and which is going to be my ruminate. Now, this is again another tone, which is ruminate, and this is a wow word to remember, and I'll help you remember this. See, ruminate again comes from the word Latin. It's been copied from the Latin word. English is quite a borrowed language. Sometimes when I'm teaching words, I find it's quite borrowed. The word was rumen. Now, what is a rumen? See, rumen is a part of the stomach of animal bovines like cows, buffaloes. It's a part of the stomach. So, not a tone is related to stomach. No. What happens for cows? If you've seen sometimes cows, they will bring back food. They will sit and keep eating. From the rumen, the food will come to their mouth. What, as a idiom, you must have seen, chew their cud. वो खा लेते हैं पहले खाना and then they bring it back to their mouth and keep chewing it again. Chew their cud. So इसमें भी तो ये author ruminate में भी chew their cud करता है. He sits and starts thinking. Like animals bring food from the rumen back to the mouth. Here, author will sit and start thinking. Obviously, you can't bring back, we as humans, we can't bring back our food, but we can really bring back our thought. See, somebody says something to us, and then we start thinking of that. Are we not chewing our cud? We think of something and then again we sit in this and we keep thinking of that thing, that what to do about it. So that is rumen. It comes from the word rumen, which is from the cattle. The name of the first stomach was rumen, the compartmentalized stomach, where they throw the food, food goes back, and then they chew their cud. So which is, ab isme author is deep thought process, thoughtful, contemplative, contemplating something, thoughtful, cogitate, and he is very thoughtful. Okay? So author can be thinking, chewing is their cud. He is thinking about it, that what should be done. He is into deep thought, contemplating something, a solution, contemplating a problem, or he is cogitating, thinking hard on something, ruminating. Clear? It is ruminating. So sarcasm, tear the flesh apart. Ruminate, from the stomach. Again, bring your food back. Chew their cud. So contemplative, cogitating, a thoughtful process. It can also be where the author thinks, goes into a deep thought. That is where it is ruminating. So today we are ending here only by keeping almost like 8 word roots. Go and revise them frequently so that we are able to do some more words. So new words that you've learned today with me: cogitate, acrimonious. And next class, what I'll do, I'll come and write 5 of them. And if you're present and if you've attended this session, you are going to tell me the meaning of those words. Clear? So contemplative, then cogitating. It can also be an argument which can be self-deprecating, contumely, and vitriolic. Clear? So the learning of the days, we've done words with bitter humor, teasing, thinking, and sadness. That's all for the day. Thank you, anyone. Anybody, any doubts? I love to hear from you. So do tell me wherever you find some difficulty. You can reach out to me on and tell me what kind of words you require more help on, so that in my further sessions can be more helpful for you. That's all for the day. Bye. Thank you.